welcome to yet another episode of Live Coding NCL. I'm your host, Johnny, as always, joining you on this lovely, sunny Friday. I hope you've had a lovely week and you're gonna have an even more amazing weekend starting now. Hope your Fridays are going awesome. All the good things, positive vibes from me. What we'll be doing today, well, we'll be coding, and we'll be coding in Svelte, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript with a meta framework, SvelteKit, and it's gonna be awesome. The idea being, we're gonna create our own Patreon clone, but not really. If you don't know Patreon, then you haven't been listening to enough podcasts, I imagine, or enough YouTubers, because most of them want to escape the cut that YouTube has, which is at least 30% or more, and they go into things like Patreon that allow them to have their own membership platform, their own subscription service. So you'd see that some posts would be protected under a membership tier. You have to pay the creator or the team, and only then you unlock extra podcast feeds, longer videos, 3D models, that sort of thing. But even Patreon takes a cut. It may be smaller than YouTube, but it does take a cut. So what if you could get around Patreon as well? What if you could create your own page like you'd see in Patreon? So that's the idea for today. We can have some fun creating our own Patreon style page in SvelteKit. As I mentioned before, we won't actually be building a Patreon clone, because then we'd need to account for things that in Patreon, you have the users that are paying for creators to unlock content for creators, but you also have so many creators that would need their own URLs and will have their own settings and their own posts and all of that. That's a higher order of complexity for sure. We may do it in the future. Let me know in the comments if you'd want to see this, but we'll start with just our own Patreon style page. So what we get here. And if you hear some lovely pulse in the background, that's my dog that's back from a walk. And she's playing with a squeaky ball, so who knows what's going to happen. What is definitely going to happen is we're going to create a new SvelteKit project using the SvelteKit wizard. So you can visit the SvelteKit docs here to see exactly what you could do yourself if you're following along. It's worth mentioning that in the end, we'd be able to create something like the Stripe subscription system, the normal, good, best type of product feature as well, that sort of a carousel. I will be able to find something to show you here. Well, I'll need to find my password later, so I'll show you the other option there. I guess like most SaaS companies offer that sort of thing, so I'll find an example in the future. First, let me switch to desktop mode so you can see what I'm doing better, and then let's create our SvelteKit app. It's been a while since I've created a new SvelteKit app. Well, this morning I created one. I'm always creating SvelteKit apps, but it's been a while since I created one live on the stream. So let's see if there is anything different here. So on our terminal, we want to paste npm create svelte at latest, and the name of our app, which is going to be Johnify, or Johnify Tech. And then it's going to pull in. Oh, it's not going to do anything. It's going to ask me what I want. I want a skeleton project. I do want TypeScript. I do want ESLint. I do want Prettier. Playwright, I'll set up myself later. We'll do it in a live stream. We've done live streams on that before. And then we'll add vtest as well for unit style testing. We'll get in to this directory. Johnify directory. In the previous stream, I did this in XJS, and we're going to take inspiration to do our subscription platform with Stripe from that live stream and that project, the XJS project as well. Let's see if we can do it in SvelteKit, because I am experiencing React fatigue, as they say. So we're in this project. We want to npm install. It's gonna take just a bit of time. I'm gonna take this opportunity to run my timer, because I do find I start running out of steam if I don't take regular breaks. So I'm gonna do the Pomodoro method. of 25 minutes of focus, and then we're back. But feel free to chat me up in the meantime. I'll get to the comments for sure. Armed with coffee, there's nothing that will stop us. All right, we're in. So we can open our VS Code, open it up here, and we can run our dev server to see what we got. Maybe we'll run it in this window on the right. And now we can go to localhost 5173. And we have a skeleton SvelteKit app. Nice. We can make this be full screen. And put it to the right of my code so we can see this side by side. This app, of course, does have hot reloading. So if we go to our main index route, the plus page .svelte, we change and we save, and immediately you can see it updates. There's a name and a call to action, and I'll update the README. There are tons of instructions here. So we'll call it Sonify, and check out the package.json. We have quite a few things here, and I've noticed that they're still on prettier 2.8. I've had some issues with my editor being compatible with prettier 3, so I'm not gonna update it now. I may update it offline. Better add this as a spelling thing. And then I'm gonna switch the prettier to the things I like. Use single quotes, sure. PHP handover trail, the command all is a new default, so let's do that. Not a bigger print width, it's fine. Prettier plugins, well, I don't think you need this. I don't think you need this. Maybe you need this overrides thing, I'm not sure. But I do hate semicolons because they're not necessary. So semicolon false. And bracket space, and shout out to Kenzie Dodds. He likes his curly brackets to be all snug, so he doesn't do bracket spacing. And I think like this is the opinionated options for my prettier. Let's try to format everything. Choosing scenes, cool. But our code output does not change, of course. npmrc. I don't think we'll need to mess with anything else for now. Maybe we'll add a data theme here in the body. The HTML auto for now. And that's gonna be it. There is like a simple Vitess test, 1 + 2 = 3, great. If you don't know how to import things from Vitess, I guess that's kind of good. I guess because the CI will fail if I try to run test now. Because there are no tests. But we'll find a proper test at some point to add. I'm not worried. So now I think we can init our Git repository, add everything. And we're good. We can go to GitHub. Create a new repository, make it public as always. Perhaps level up your coding journey. License will add later. Copy this. Paste here. Our code is live. Great. Guess we can even go to Vercel and add a new project. Zonify and deploy. So maybe I'll add this to the agenda. We've talked about what we're doing today. We went through the SvelteKit wizard, set up GitHub repo plus deploy with Vercel. It's gonna take a few minutes. It may not take a few minutes. I was going to say a few seconds. And indeed, we should be getting confetti right about now. Vercel has been adding features. Of course, deploy previews have been a thing for ages. I wonder why I didn't manage to take a screenshot here. But now you can do comments in the preview deployments as well, which is a game changer, really. Let's add a domain. Zonify.com. I always want to redirect www to the non-prefix version. I don't know why they have this as recommended. I think maybe it was a recommendation years ago, but everyone is coming to their senses and agreeing with me, and this I think is the default. But the important thing is to have the one canonical link. Don't mix it up. Great. Now we have a site publicly available that doesn't look great, but we'll make it look great. Maybe we'll take inspiration from this actually with the banner and the avatar. Probably not. We'll see what we'll do, but we will set up Tailwind.css next. They do have a shortcut for this, so we install as a dev dependency Tailwind.css, post.css, and auto prefixer. And then we init the Tailwind.css config. But I do think we need to switch it to be CJS, not just JS. So this one. But maybe it's fine. It remains to be seen. So we have our config here. The post.css config that doesn't specify any overrides. And I do have inspiration from other projects here. You can see previous streams, see me do this live. Start from absolute scratch. We're kind of starting from scratch, but not completely. So here we have a Tailwind config. I'm gonna pick and explain what we'll be pasting here. So the important one is to tell Tailwind to scan this content. Scan anything in the source folder that ends with HTML, JS, TS, and or Svelte. The non-important things is that I alias some colors to be the primary and the secondary colors, and we can go to Tailwind palette and see which colors we're actually going to pick for this app. And I think I'll go with purple and emerald. And then these are some handy colors that I've made up, I guess. The copy color, I have a base and a muted copy color, because usually you have like a subtler gray variation. And I have a couple surface colors, so that's when you have cards and that sort of thing. Apparently I had 3 on that other project. Interesting. And the emphasis colors, which I use for links very often. The gray, I like the stone gray. The white is just FFFFF. Transparent, just some handy aliases in your Tailwind classes here. I do have a few box shadows created as well with Josh Como's excellent shadow creator tool. I always center containers. Whenever there's a container, I always want to center them. I never want them to be like left aligned. And then the font family, I guess we're gonna decide which font family we're actually gonna use right now. We'll go to Google Fonts and let me know if you want one. I do want a variable font. Montserrat is a classic. What does Patreon use? Like a sans serif one, kind of boring sans serif one. Playfair looks cute. I'm wondering whether I want like a playful one, like Quicksand, or a readable one. Let's see. Not serif, not bad. Can also hire a designer instead of looking at fonts all day. And what's the... it is trending. Inter, it's a classic choice. Wavefront, that's pretty nuts. In Consolata, kinda good. I don't remember any famous websites that use Consolata, but I'm sure there are a couple. It's variable on 2 axes, but what are they? Maybe the slant and the weight for sure. Okay, let's do that one. And the way we're doing this with SvelteKit, the way I do it nowadays is with a tool called Font Source. Where the fonts are available as an npm package. Oh, the 2 axes are width and weight. Interesting. Interesting. Weight is like what you'd expect. Cool. So let's install it. It's gonna be a dev dependency like everything else. Then we're gonna import it somewhere. code. In this page, let's add a script tag. And then we can go to Tailwind and say that our sons family is in console and a variable, and by default, Tailwind sets things up, so it will use the sans serif variable, the sans serif font you have specified. And do they have the color emoji as well? We won't fall back to it yet, and if we do use emojis in the app, I will show this trick, but not now. All right, so with this done, we still need an app CSS that is going to be importing the Tailwind stuff. And I can take inspiration from this one I just wrote for the other app I was working on today. I'll put it on source right here. So we import the base Tailwind layer. Then on that base layer, we add some resets based on, again, the excellent Just.com article that I've kind of tweaked based on my experiences as well. And I'm doing things like applying my card surface to the whole of HTML. And I'm applying the font display here, which we won't need in this app. We're going to use the Tailwind default. The color is going to be the base color that I've specified. We're going to transition the colors. That happens when you hover on links and stuff. We are going to say that the links should be underlined. We're going to say that the EM tags should be slanted. I guess we don't have a need here for this. We'll see if we're going to use it. If we're going to use EM tags anywhere. And then we're going to set up our colors here. So our brand hue, for a brand color from the purples, maybe I like this. And I'll go to a hex to HSL tool. And the degrees is going to be this, 271. And I do believe the other one was emerald for my other project as well, so we won't need to do anything else there. It's just to check, sanity check. The degrees are 158, indeed. Our transition directions, and this is the shadow based on the Just.com and stuff. Some easings that I've included, mostly for the theme toggle button that we may not get to. Dark mode colors based on the brand hue and emphasis hues and stuff. We can tweak around these later. Until then, let's save and see what happens. Nothing, because we need to bring this app CSS in. Now, yeah, we're in dark mode. And are we using in console a variable here? I think it should be just sans here, so maybe it's correct. I'm looking for font family. can do simple strings now, which is cool. I prefer that. Alright, it does say here that it should be setting the font family to whatever we've set as the sans font. So let's try to run it again and see if we see anything. Alright. We forgot to include Tailwind.css forms. Now we restart the server, hopefully. All right, we are there. Is there a small caps CSS? I don't think that variable font has small caps in Consolata, but we're worrying about it too much. All right, so we are in dark mode because I prefer dark mode. We can emulate prefers color scheme light, and you'll see it's going to be like this. It's looking kind of all right. Now we'll imagine. It looks like we have an ESLint nitpick. But this we need to use required here, so I don't know why it's complaining. So let's add some common ESLint rules that I don't like and I ignore. These ones. Now it should be happy. Like this, you can import anything you want. You can go back to dark mode. And we can go to our page and say that this can be 6XL. Font. And this can be text XL. And all of this can be in a main. And it can be in a flex container. In the center. Column flex container. But it needs to grow. All right. I think there's a prettier plugin for Tailwind. So let's install this. Oh, it wants prettier 3. So I guess it's fine. I'll try to do prettier 3. Let's see if it's gonna work. Oh. What's the problem? There is no problem. Alright then. Or maybe there is. Let's just quickly check my editor is gonna work with this or flip out. If it flips out, we revert back to the other version. Looks fine. All right, it looks fine indeed. What if I remove this svelte parser? Still works. Yeah, I'm puzzled about this. Let's just create this button. Our test button. Yeah, it doesn't order them, sadly. Let's check again. Are there any issues in this repository? Whoa, they've closed every issue. Jesus. Maybe you do need a plugin. Yeah, this worked. Cool. All right. Let's run the formatter again. Plugin search directory is not a real thing, apparently. Sweet. And is there something in packaging? Yes, so let's format again. Cool. Is there a linked as well? Perfect. All right, so we can say that what we did here was a Tailwind setup, and we can take a small break. Sweet. And then we'll start another timer. And see where we get at, and we'll switch to the face view just for a moment. So then so we set up styling with Tailwind.css, and then we go to Supabase. That's interesting, because if we're gonna take payments, we're gonna need Stripe for sure, but it's probably a good idea to also set it up with set up Supabase. So that's an open source database solution, Firebase alternative, kinda, although they are using Postgres, which is good, dependable. There are people that are saying I'm designing my apps with Postgres for like 10 years, and everything else changes. The front-end framework changes, the backend framework changes, but Postgres always there, always dependable. I don't know if you should base your architecture and put your actual business logic in your Postgres, but this person famously does, and he's been right. Anyway, Supabase is using Postgres. That's great. We're gonna set it up and try to have it sync via webhooks with Stripe. And whenever someone buys a subscription and goes through our Stripe checkout, Postgres should be updated and know that this person has an active membership. And if that's the case, then they can also see some protected posts, which we will be doing in the future. Of course, I said that you are saving on money by cutting out Patreon, but Patreon has tons of features. You can have the protected posts feature, you can upload videos directly there to Patreon and not just have unlisted YouTube videos. They have some Discord integrations as well, so there are tons of features. But you can start your site simple. What are the bare essentials? Maybe you need nothing, you don't need a special protected posts, for example, special features for logged in users that are on a membership tier. At this point, maybe you just monitor your Stripe dashboard and see someone has signed up. You get an email from that and you manually add them to your Discord server, or you set up a meeting with them, or whatever it is you promise for the subscription tier. You can fulfill that at the start because you expect you'll only have a few clients, a few people signing up, not like thousands and millions. So you can artificially do the AI bit. And you'll be the AI, you'll be the code that is running your business. You'll be the business logic. That's a perfect way to do it. That's not scalable in the end, but then you keep expanding your app and you have the code handle those solutions. So famously, another famous saying is do things that don't scale, and that's a perfect example. So we're gonna start by taking payments somehow, and then we'll think about the other features we'll be providing. We'll be running Stripe in test mode as well, so we won't actually be taking people's money to start with before we can actually manage the features. Just in case every subscriber from my other channel signs up on the same day and I don't have the time to do it, to add them all in the Discord server. All right, so we've gone through quite a few things, but there's still more to be done. Let's set up another noodle timer and spin up a local Supabase instance. And I guess I can do Supabase. I can install Supabase here in our Sonify project. And then I can do npx Supabase init. Yeah. Oof, did I add nothing in the previous commit? Surely I did. Guess I didn't. Alright, so package log has changed. Yeah, it seems these are only new files, so I think it's fine. Sure. We added this. Was there no git ignore before? Whoa. Cannot. Ah, there is a nested git ignore. Alright, in this Supabase folder, I see. Okay, that kind of makes sense. set URL when running locally is actually this. It's a different port. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Sure. This is how we see the database. We won't be doing that. Let's start our Supabase server. Let's make it happen in here. Desktop. Need to switch to desktop. So what did I do? I did npm install the Supabase, npx Supabase init. All this happened, and I went through package.json to see what, well, the version control really, to see what this command did for us. Now I'm gonna run the npx Supabase start command, which will hopefully start the local Supabase server. But I need to start Docker for this. Fair enough. Start Docker. Docker has started. We're gonna pull some press images. I like the local development with Supabase. They've improved a lot in the past year or two in this regard. And as they say, you are only allowed 2 free projects. And maybe sometimes you just want to play around with an idea and see what happens. Especially if you're doing YouTube videos and live streams on this, and you can't be paying like 25 pounds per project. That's a bit much. They do give you 2 free ones, but 25 per project, that's a bit nuts. So now with local development, you can pay nothing until you actually decide that, yeah, this project I can take live. In which case you do pay the 25 per month. Or if it's one of the 2 ones you get for free, then pay nothing. I have remember a life where you couldn't have virtual machines like that when you were developing, or the way to spin up a virtual machine was much more tedious than Docker. If you think Docker is confusing and it's tedious and it's hard to set up, well, let me tell you, you kids have it easy nowadays. Well, I have it easy nowadays, but it didn't used to be like that. Port is already allocated. Should I just kill it? I think Docker is running. Let's do some debugging. I do have the Docker desktop. I have been running Supabase via Docker often, so maybe opening up Supabase now is making it kind of work. Images, containers. Yeah. All right. So this one, I don't want it to run. Stop button, not record button. I did press it. Hopefully it is slowly closing. Maybe I need to pause it first. Delete. Yeah, slight same, but let's delete forever. All right, so that's from a previous Supabase that I was starting. I guess I could also change the code, but hey, I won't be running that one anytime soon, so it's fine. All right, we may need these. But the point is, I can open GraphQL Studio now in this link. Great. And I think somewhere in here, there must be like a starter, Stripe starter. That's what I'm hoping. I have like a few starters, but let's see. Supabase subscriptions, Stripe starter. There's gonna be the Nexus subscription payments starter. That's not exactly what I want, but maybe I can just copy the seed from there. That's gonna be fine. Yeah, quick start section. Where is the quick start section? Maybe nowhere. Supabase quick starts. Stripe. No results. All right, so since I cannot find anything here, thankfully I have the Next.js project. It also is using Supabase, and it has this migration for us, which should be enough. So it creates, it's SQL which creates users table, database trigger that creates a new user the time they log in. Great. This thing is a table that maps our Postgres user IDs to Stripe customer IDs. Oh, it should be good. Products are the things you can create in Stripe, and then if the webhook is running correctly, it gets put in here. The pricing stuff, again, synced with Stripe. Subscriptions with Stripe, real-time subscriptions, and different thing. All right, so let's copy this migration. But first, let's have a look at how migrations work. Did I give a name to this migration? So npx new, let's call it Stripe init. Stripe init. And that file, this file should be empty, but we can paste everything from the Next.js project. Now we're good. And then can npx supabase db reset. And then we should have a schema. Perfect. Containers to take a while. So now we have customers, prices, products, subscriptions, and users. Great. What's this? The agenda? We did spin it up. We did create our own Stripe starter schema. Great. And then we need some environment variables. So let's prove we have connected with Supabase, because then we're gonna use Supabase auth-helpers-sveltekit. And kind of copy this code. Hopefully they've updated it since then. But also, let's not forget to add our Supabase URL and a non-key. So we are going to create a .env for local development. And the Supabase URL should be what we got in the terminal here, a bit higher up. API URL. It's this. And the non-key is this. Pretty long. And it's fine if you lick those, it's all good. And just so we won't be searching for it later, it's fine that I'm leaking this because it's only on my computer, it's the local ones. By the way. But when we create the project in actual Supabase, we shouldn't be doing anything. We shouldn't be doing any leaking. Cool. So we've done that. And then we need to create a server hook. There's in. So for hooks, we don't have any. We're gonna create one now. Server hook only runs on the server. And it does this. And since it's TypeScript, we'll need to add some type definitions. There you go. So interface locals, Supabase get the Supabase client, session get the session. Printer didn't like something here. I wonder what. Can the online tool format it? No. It's because it's TypeScript, I guess. Is it? Is that the problem with Printer 3? Hopefully not. I mean, the problem, like, if it doesn't like type, right? So I guess the problem is that it doesn't like TypeScript. Yeah, that may be the problem. Do I downgrade to the previous version of Prettier? Yes. Should be fine. Let me remove the Tailwind plugin. See if that helps. No. Don't quite get it. Do we have another TypeScript file? This one. Does this one format nicely? No. If I put it in the editor here, does it format nicely? No, because it's TypeScript. So Let's remove this overrides file and see what happens. Let's restart the editor again. Why not? It looks like it's fine. So maybe it was an editor problem. All right, so it works now. Does it work with the Svelte files? It does. Can I re-add the plugin? Looks like it's gonna be fine. Works. And this page also works. It's a bit slower than before, I'm not gonna lie. This was instant. Okay, cool. Oh, 25 minutes are up already. So we'll do a little break, but first, let's figure out where we were again. Here, so the app.ts, we've added this, and we were reviewing our hook server, which is Trine. So this used to say a reason why this is added, because there was a SvelteKit bug, but I guess it doesn't exist anymore. It doesn't say anymore. So this is more likely to be correct, to be updated. So I'm gonna use this. Session helper. We'll keep the comment, why not? There's no comment on why this exists anymore. Save. And next up, we're gonna do some further cool stuff. Further cool stuff. Everyone wants those. I do think we have like one or two more Pomodoros 25-minute sessions. We will make it. We will make it to logging in with GitHub, I'm sure. Even though we'll need to add like a little header and have a like login sign up button there. So I may have scoped this out quite nicely for us. And I'm eager to get back in. So let's do it. All right, it's Pomodoro again. Zoom in on desktop and keep going. Next up, we'll have a layout file. It looks like server only layout file. So in the routes here, bring this in. We can add our row, return this. Is there anything that we can inline return, which I love? The space here. Cool. On the layout file, I'm not sure we'll need this. I'm not gonna add it just yet. Because maybe we won't be doing any layout loads, right? Okay, we may need it, so let's add it for now. What is database definitions? Right, so a client-side layout file. This one we don't have, so let's detail how we can do it. From the dashboard. Ha, local, great. So let's go to package.json. Let's have the generate command. Let's call it this and put it in source generated database definitions and vim run generate. We need to create a directory. Generated. I like making it obvious that this is a generated file. Looks like it worked. So this should create TypeScript definitions based on the table we have, the database schema that we have, which is awesome. We need to hunt them down. Maybe we should put them in lib generated. So let's look at our generate script again. Source lib generated, and then maybe we also want to run prettier. Huh. Kinda correct. Sweet. Did that actually run prettier? I guess so, because this didn't need to be regenerated. Alright, so let's find this from $lib generated database definitions, and we should be good to go. So our client has access to our session as well. And next step would be to invalidate it when needed. And here, we don't have a layout file yet. So plus layout with svelte. That's the UI file that does have some JavaScript to execute. And on mount, it can set up the listener to see if our auth state has changed, if we've logged in, logged out, if our cookie expired and stuff like that. Don't forget to clean up. All right, I like this. What should this be? So this checks if the expires at of the given session is different essentially to the one we got from the server. All right, so we did this. We're not going to do any client-side data fetching. We will be doing server-side data fetching at some point. Protecting some API routes, maybe. But we'll want to log in. So let's fix her here again. And say that we did set this up and we're moving into the login step. So I will once again put this next to our code. And now that we have a layout file as well, we can have like a header here. Not quite that. This could be our logo. This could have like a flex. Let's define a between. The other item would be a button. Login sign up button. This should be an anchor that gets us to the root page if we're not there, even though this is a single page up for now. And is this not wide enough? we'll figure it out. And it may make sense to create our header component here. Let's extract this. Its own component. Let's have this UI and bring it in here. And what else do I want to do? Maybe my other project has enough bar already. Maybe not. Maybe I can find one. This one. So it has a nice header for us. Great artists steal from their own code. Wow. Using svelte element here. It's nuts. To check whether it's H1 or not. Clever, clever. Item center, I see here. Don't even remember how this app looks, to be honest. But it looks like it should be fine. Something iffy is going on here. Maybe with Tailwind once again? Yeah, something's not working well. Let's restart this dev server. Alright, so I wasn't going crazy. It's just that the Tailwind wasn't compiling, I guess. So the classes were not having an effect. We can keep the surface here and the header, and everything else we can nest in a nice nav, which will have all the other classes and be inside a container. And maybe have like slightly larger text. Cool. And then maybe we press the login button. We go to the login route, which doesn't exist. So what will we be doing then? Auth-UI, interesting. Supabase auth-UI. This didn't exist last time I was here. It's pretty cool. I like that all these components, they have like the same classic options. It's like the brand color. You can select, like you cannot put it in hex code, which is interesting. Like the rounded corners, they could be a little rounded, super rounded, etc. I like it. I do like it. You can set up the brands here. Nice. It does say React component here, which is interesting. But here it says that it's a pre-built Svelte component. I guess they also have a Svelte component. Maybe we'll just install that to get started and see how we like it. Right, let's get to it. So we do want to put it in a new page. So let's create a new file inside the folder called login, and it will have a class page.start. In here, we're going to be bringing in these two libraries. Okay, they're in. And we also need a plus page server.ts. It's going to be returning that URL in the data or redirect. So if we already have a session, redirect to home, maybe. Let's hit home. Should be a 303. Temporary redirect, yes, not a permanent redirect. And we get the URL here, so we can put it inside the callback. It's all well and good. Did I install the correct things? Let's open it again. Surely we have it. This doesn't leave it. Yeah, there they are. It's here. You can do it. Oh well, maybe it needs a dev server to rerun. Yeah, looks great. All right. And it has a magic link here. Great. Maybe I should open the auth-UI-svelte, see how that works. Do they have like a GitHub here? Where is the auth-UI? Show me. Auth helpers? Promising? No, it's in the guides, so not promising at all. Let's just open this component. So that's kind of interesting. Is there like a conflict with Tailwind? Like our UI, great. We go to this page, the login page. Data. Does it help now? All right, I guess that's all it wanted. And I guess we can also add providers. Not too bad. But then what happens when I actually click this button? Interesting. Yeah, so I don't like the conflict that exists here with the Tailwind classes or whatever that is. So let's say that direct to, let's calculate this. It's gonna be this, and just paste it in here. And then all we need to do is create our romantic link flow ourselves. After a small break we're gonna take. Alright, so what else do I want to do? I want this. I wanted to uninstall the UI helpers. UI, gone. Cool. So let's do a commit here. Commit everything, it's all good. And then, I guess according to this schedule, we're gonna just do the GitHub login, and we'll probably won't have time for much more. But it's been fun so far. So maybe 25-minute timer. We're getting back into it. So, somewhere I should be able to see in this local Supabase thingy settings for like authentication and stuff. Here. Maybe not there. I thought it'd be there. But we'll find it. Should be front end or back end? It says client side here, which is quite interesting. All right, so go to our authentication section. Great. And then here, great. And then there is something that maybe only exists in like a real project, I guess. I don't want this, I don't want this. I don't want this. Maybe I want this. So let's go to my actual Supabase project. So on the dashboard, we can go to like emoji off that we were looking at before. In the authentication section, they do have like a providers. Okay, fair enough. And email templates and all that. So I guess it's a limitation of local development. Oh. All right. So in here, external GitHub enabled true, client ID, get it from an environment variable, secret, get it from an environment variable, client ID I guess is fine to leak if needed. Direct URL is this. I saw v2 somewhere, I promise. Maybe I don't need that. Maybe I won't put in this. So maybe that's enough. I think that's fine to leak because it's not secret. So let's see what we're gonna call these on our .env. Please suggest maybe it should be secret. Keep things the same as the documentation and not. This and this. Sure. But the thing is, what do we actually do there? So we just create a client button and that's it. Why not? Do I even not need that URL? And what is that Supabase? I imagine it's a Supabase client. Oh, we get it from here. From the backend. Else to what? Who knows? And our button will be looking with GitHub. It's gonna be a big button. And on click, it's gonna do our sign in with GitHub method. But it's sveltekit, so on click is like this, lowercase. Fair enough. Yeah, the styling has been a bit weird, but hey. Support provider. Provider is not enabled. Could be because we changed the configuration here. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, did try to evaluate something. So we're getting somewhere. Let's restart. All right. So if we try the login button again. Alright, it gets you somewhere in GitHub, so it looks like we've enabled that correctly. But of course the problem is that the client ID and the secret are incorrect. So we need to go to GitHub. Settings, developer settings, auth apps, Zonify. And this callback URL should be hopefully I can change this later. So this one should be fine. And yeah, looks like I can use the callback. And I will move this to another window momentarily, as well as this. Because what I really want to do is copy this juicy secret. And generate one. I need an auth code. You can't see this either. GitHub. Copy this one. You have 7 seconds to reuse this password. Won't make it, I'm already in. Now copy this secret variable. Paste it in here. Remove this. And put it back here for everyone to see. And we should be good to go. I suppose we should be restarting the Supabase server. Maybe, I'm not sure. But let's do it. Just in case. Will it actually work? I'm not sure. Restart this server just in case. Even though it does restart when you change your .env. And now, what happens if we press the login button? Yeah, it tries to go to the callback, which is fair enough. Can I do... What can I do? Can I set the redirect to here? Oh, redirect to. It's a thing. Is it not? Maybe not. Is it nested in options? Yeah, looks like that's it. It's nested inside an options object. Would this work? I guess not. But we don't actually want to redirect there, right? And what would the auth callback page actually do? Oh, it's probably stop and start. Here you go. Should I put this on GitHub and see what happens? Worth a try. Oh. actually can do that. I need to add that, just don't need this variable. Tailwind is having some problems. All right. Cool. Does that mean there's a new user here? There is. It's me. There you go. Pretty good. And that means I have a session, so we can go into our header. And check whether we have a session or not. I guess that's the idea. I think we're doing something similar here. Go to our header and add another script tag. And export a session. It's a session or null. And then we can say, can do like a ternary or an if. Actually, so this is svelte. So if session we can have a lookout button. We have a session, we have a logout button, in which case is the auth state does change here, but hey. I do think this is going to be a button. Now let's go to our profile page and we can think about this later. This could be the user avatar or something like that. And then it's in the profile page where we have plus page.svelte. That's the one. Inspiration from this. That one can have a sign up page. It's a button, lookout, background, we do nothing. Page starter, is that a thing? From the login page. Just knows. And what we want to do is the sign out thing. So on click, we're going to sign out. We're gonna say something like you're logged in as, yeah, that's the main page. Actually, it's one profile. They're logged in as this person. And then you have a button to log out. So let's go to our profile page. And maybe we want our header to have like a bit of a margin there. Maybe just 2. Maybe the default text should be bigger as well. So if we go to our app.css, where we're setting the copy, like just apply text LZ here. It breaks Tailwind, but eventually it should make it work. Yeah, this is expensive. So we only apply it here. I love big type. I don't know about you. And then if we have an error, we log out. Well, no matter what I say, it flips out with the CSS. We'll need to look into that at some point. Interesting how in the docs they use like 2 different ways. We'll sign out. Copy this error case. All well and good. We'll try to log out now and see if we'll manage to get our login again. Oh, so I did bomb our session, but we would need a similar thing as well in the server to redirect us if we're not logged out. So maybe copy this one wholesale. return them to the home page. So if you don't have a session, then redirect and we return nothing. Don't need this. And this reminds me that here we can get them to the profile page. All right, so let's go with the flow again. We're logged in, like it magically happens because GitHub knows that we want to log in here. We can see our profile, and if we sign out, oof, we don't magically get out because I guess this doesn't run again. So yeah. I guess in the sign out page, there is no sign up. There is in the profile page. If there is an error, just early out here. But then we can redirect and we can have a look at Sveltekit again. Sveltekit docs, like client side redirect. Definitely done this before. Yeah. Seems kind of correct. You have to throw a redirect. Nah. It's not a load method. Go to. There you go. Go to is what we want. So let's try the journey again. We saw that we cannot go to the profile page even if we try to hard code it in. We end up in the home page. Log in here, log in with GitHub. We're logged in, we can see our profile, we can press the logout button. We're logged out and we see the home page. Perfect. All right, this went swimmingly in the end. Amazing. What else do we want? I think that's gonna be it for today. We did the login with GitHub, and next, like we have like a sort of dark mode already, as I did copy over the logic for dark mode, but we cannot toggle it. It just respects our system-wide setting for whether I prefer light or dark mode. And I prefer dark. So by default it shows this. We'll have the nice little moon icon to toggle between sun and moon, dark and light mode, according to what you are in the next episode. And we did actually do the automatic TypeScript types generation for Supabase. That was quite neat. And we'll may do the other login solutions as well. Like we can do another provider, Google, can do email and password. Let me know if you want to see me like style these horrible things a bit better, but I'll probably do it offline. I can't bear to look at it. And then we can do protected posts. So if you are logged in, instead of just being able to see your profile, you should be able to see some posts just for you. And actually type subscriptions with Stripe. So if you are logged in, you can actually purchase a plan based on what we have. And that's about it. Let me know if you have any questions. Chat is much less active than in my other channel, which makes sense, but we'll grow this one too. I'm confident. Until then, no cameos from my dog. A cute puppy, not on screen until we get that messages. But this is gonna be it for today. I hope that this was enjoyable for you. Hope that we learned something. I definitely learned quite a lot. And let's all have an amazing weekend. See you around.